hey, it's Trinity. I'm gonna go get comfortable. I just had to get off the phone with my dad. So I didn't want to end it like that. I'm gonna try to stitch this part together later on. I kind of wanted to cover the end of it. So I'm gonna do it really, really fast. Like I said, I didn't even put my bandana back on. We're just gonna do this really quick. Okay. So I kind of wanted to tell you just a little bit. If you remember, we were talking about Haley Robinson. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So all of the people that are getting money that are inside of his list or whatever, it doesn't matter. That's actually not what I wanted to actually talk about. So I have his will here, and it's talking about request and under his will and trust and all of that. And it's talking about all of the people, including Kierna Shuliak and everything, right? So, okay. So you know how everything has like a purpose, right? Especially these kinds of things. And remember how I told you, like, it's a lot deeper than we think that it is? Okay, this is what I found. And it just kind of, okay, I'm just going to tell you what it is. So I was going through the files, and this is page 3 of 32. Okay, it says here, it says, I make the following general bequests to Karen Shuliak, if she survives me, $50 million. In addition to said bequest, as soon as practical after my death, the trustees are directed to purchase an annuity for the benefit of Kierna Shuliak for a reputable financial institution in the amount of $50 million, which annuity shall be payable monthly for the life of Kierna Shuliak. Upon the death of her, the trustees shall distribute the remaining principal balance of said annuity and any income pro rata to all the beneficiaries listed in Article 2, Section. Now, here's the thing. It says here, okay, listed in Article 2, Section 2.3, in parentheses A, in parentheses 4, dash, in parentheses 412, in the same percentage that the initial bequest bears to the total amount of bequest. Listen, it's just legal jargon. Okay. Out of all the files, and I've been through a lot, we've been through a lot, out of all of the files, out of all of the paperwork, and I'm talking about redactions and everything else, this one particular part, that article, is the only one that has a pen on it. Somebody wrote with a pen. Okay. So they wrote like this little scribble on it, but in the part that says 4, and then it says dash, in parentheses 412, somebody crossed the 2 out. So, and then it looks like with a different pen, but somebody literally put like one line directly through the number 2. So I was like, why would that just be, out of everything I saw, nobody wrote on a physical file until here. I looked up Section 2, 2.3, blah, blah, blah. Okay. That particular article, if you put it in many different ways, it might come out different things. The second I put that search in, it took me to Legal Information Institute, and it says it's the article for impeachment and removal from office. And then on GovInfo, it says, I have a PDF that says impeachment powers. Why would a document in the files, talking about all of this stuff, I'm talking about the bottom part of this is just redactions. We could pretty much figure it out if we wanted to. It's all the list of all the people that are going to get some money. Not one mark, not one pen. Somebody, through all of these things, you ever, okay, tinfoil hat time. So there's always a whistleblower somewhere, right? A lot of the times when these people in power like have these little conversations and they can't like go face to face and have a G7 or whatever, some kind of summit every other day, they have to do things in weird ways. Okay, tinfoil hat, bear with me. What if all the other countries are getting this, right? They're all getting the same documents. It's not like it's just us, right? They get the same dump. Anyway, I'm being silly. I'm tired. Okay. If another country is reading this, or a whistleblower is trying to say something, this is how they would do it. There's no way. There's 6 million now files out there. And out of, I want to say, maybe 1,000, maybe 2 I've been through. Like I said, I don't know if you remember from another video, I know how to speed read, right? So it's not real hard for me to go through these things. So me running through it, and that's why I always have 50 windows open, it wasn't hard for me to do a really fast scroll and boom, I caught this. And I was like, why the hell? And everything I saw. Do you think it's a coincidence? Tell me in the comments if you think it's a coincidence that everything that I saw and everything we discussed tonight, that this one part would have one mark and then a scribble underneath it. You can't miss it. If you were scrolling real fast, you might not see the mark, but there's a scribble right underneath it. Right underneath it. I'm going to take a picture of that. I'm going to try. Let me see. Hold on. Okay. I'm just going to do it really fast. Let me see if it works. There it is. Okay. You see it? It says Article 2, Section A, 2, blah, 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 blah. Out of every single file, that's the only one that has this mark. Okay. You see what I'm saying? Out of everything. If these things are going through some kind of a printer, you know what I mean? Or PDF files like they are here. I had to turn the camera. I had to show you what I saw. Because maybe to some people it doesn't mean anything. To me it means something. Like it's like a secret code, you know? Either to push it if they saw it, you know, like it's like this little X marks the spot where like the hidden message is there, you just have to get to the point to see it. So if you go through all of the files and you just happen to catch this one part, somebody's meant to capture this. If it's talking about impeachment, it's like you know, when you have somebody that you know passed away and then they do leave a will and then they leave all of this information that you didn't know about, but it took until they died to see it. To me, this is a sign that when all these other countries and when Congress is reading through this, like, that's the purpose. Okay, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but let's say the impeachment goes through, if they actually do it. And I'm talking about either Bondi, Patel, who's that other guy who's up Schitt's Creek? Okay, let's say one of them. It just says article of impeachment. It doesn't say who's going to be impeached. It's just talking about somebody in the higher up. It says, it says impeachment and removal from office overview. The president, vice president, and all civil officers of the United States shall be removed from office on impeachment for and conviction of treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors. Okay. Bondi just lied. Patel just lied. Everybody lied. So if there is an impeachment process that actually, I'm not talking about we're talking about the impeachment. I'm talking about the shit happens. Like we go, we take the steps, the impeachment happens, that person's kicked out, and then whatever else happens after that. Somebody wrote it or somebody marked it in the actual files. So if that happens, it's going to be 3 for 3 at this point. It'll be 3 for 3. I got the DP World and the Sultan. I got the Ivanka and Russia, and now this. So I'm done for the night. I'll be back in a couple of days. If you happen to like my content, including the awesome people that are actually leaving comments on my videos, do me a favor. I also do articles when I'm not doing lives, and I have to get the 50. Like I said, I got 240 on my other account, and I only have 27 here on Lovespiracy, where you're probably going to be able to see this. So until I get the 50, I can't do YouTube lives. On my other account, I can. So if you want, like, if you go from here and then you go to Esoteric Truth Radio, you'll see the same logo and everything. If I see you guys move down there, or I get a couple of more people, I'll know that Lovespiracy people moved over there, and then I'll go and start doing lives, because I can do YouTube lives there. I think it would be a lot better than than doing it here. I think I would get more views. I think people will be able to participate in the chat a little bit more. People really aren't into Facebook like that. So I'm just saying, I don't want to leave Leftspiracy and then, you know, even people that actually, you know, having conversations and having discussions with me there, I don't want to just like bounce. I just be like, oh, well. So if you happen to be seeing this, go over to Necessary Truth Radio. When I see that I got a couple of people that left Leftspiracy and went over there, then I know I can actually start doing lives there. Anyway, I'm Trinity. Thank you for being a part of everything. I know I come with a lot, but I'm sure, I'm 100% sure that you learned something today that you did not know. And that's super important, and that makes me super happy. Not because, I mean, this is horrible shit that's happening, but being able to know that there's a cheat code, you know, there's a cheat code to learning this information. You know, I happen to think of myself as a cheat code, you know, because it's something that I love to do. People don't have time to do this shit. And it takes me a couple hours, you know, like I usually take, like, I'll take a whole day and I'll run through a little bit. And then maybe an hour or two before I actually do a live, then I kind of, you know, try to remember everything I meant to do. So with that being said, I'm going to take a couple of days off. My throat hurts now. And usually when I do a live this long in the morning, I sound like Barry White. So I'll take a little bit of a break. But I appreciate you. I appreciate the time that you spend with me. I hope that we're not going to be able to get over what's going on. But every time you watch one of these videos, and I don't mean, I'm talking about this video or the videos I put out. Every time we do something like this and we're having this conversation, there's going to be a different way that you'll start seeing the news. There's going to be, you'll be able to say, man, why are they talking about that person so much? What happened with Sarah Keller? You know what I'm saying? Oh, shit. Before I go. Remember we were talking about Haley Robson? So, remember she was in, they put her down as a co-conspirator? And remember I told you this was deep? Did you know that whole report about her bringing other people and everything, did you know that she's one of the survivors? Like, I think she's one of the survivors that are like out and talking. Like, why is nobody bringing that up? Why would anybody think that somebody that came out as a survivor? All right, you know we got to look this up, right? We have to. Okay, I need to find out if she's actually, I was just so in awe that I found out she was a survivor. Is Haley Robson, right? Robson, a survivor that has been on TV. Let's see. Okay, it says local news. CBS 12. I have no idea what that's at. Okay. This came out in April 26, 2024, 4:30 in the morning. And then it was updated July 1st. So it says Palm Beach, Florida. This summer, the details of grand jury testimony in the Palm Beach County case against Epstein will become public thanks to a change in Florida law signed by DeSantis, specifically to bring this information to light, blah, blah, blah. Haley Robertson, a survivor, provides sobering details about Epstein's actions and reminds us why these unsealed documents are crucial in understanding how a predator managed to secure a sweetheart deal. Okay? Why is all of this in code? Okay. I just want to know what she said. Because before we did this, because this was all the way at the end of my stuff. Like, I love my dad, but he really caught me off guard. Because I was kind of on a roll. So, when we were running through it and I was kind of explaining, like, I read a lot of I mean, they put her down from Palm Beach as a co-conspirator. Like, she was already indicted. Like, not indicted. Anyway, I really want to be able to cover this part really quick because I thought it was super important. Damn, Dad, I love you, but shit, it really caught me off guard. You hear all the clicks I'm doing? Those are all windows that I have here. And I need to find her. I hope that it is not in the files. Because there's no way. You know how far down? Oh my God, it's in the files. Son of a bitch. And don't forget, we also covered how many times police were called to the house. So we had Epstein call about first aid. We had a hit and run. We had a whole bunch of alarms setting off. We had one where somebody called the cops for an open door. And based on the information that I've been sharing here, we also completely understand that a lot of these reports have the same date, same time, but the information on the reports are different. So I'm going to kind of go with, even here, alarm, burglary, intrusion. So even though I can read that, it says that there was a female on the premises. They named somebody there Gayano, Giayano. And then it says, and it's dated 2205, right? February 2nd, 2005. Then when I click on the next one, it has the same date, but all the details like caretaker, the name, the female on the premises, all of that's gone. Like it's just empty. It's not redacted. It's just not there. And of course, that's kind of a problem. Okay, so yes, it's in the probable cause affidavit from the Palm Beach Police Department. I'm trying to remember. Just give me a second. You know I gotta figure this out because I thought it was super important. What part she played. And you already know why, right? She was the one that was quoted saying, remember the cops had put like a tape in the car, and that she had said that she was like, what is it, Heidi Fleiss? Yeah, she said, as the interview was concluded and Robson was being taken home, a tape recorder was placed within the vehicle to record any conversations. I don't know if I don't know if that's illegal. It probably was back in the day, but I don't know how that would do anything now, right? Like, they do more illegal shit now than they did before. So, that, we already know what the hell's going on there. Hold on. This is stressing me out. I hate when I'm like on a roll and then I have to get out of that roll. Just making sure. Kelly Robson, sure. Kelly Robson. Okay, I had to be sure. Okay, so all of that, she didn't like, she said, I'm like Heidi Fleiss. Like, she didn't know she was being recorded when she said that. So according to the incident report, which I'm trying to remember, okay, it says that they had sufficient probable cause to arrest her for lewd and lascivious acts to a victim at the age of 16. Not only do these reports say that she was bringing girls in, but that she was actually a part of the abuses. But when I heard her name, it didn't really click right away. So when I found out, when I went to find her name in the files, and it said she was a survivor, I was like, no, that doesn't make sense. Right? That's what I thought. Anyway, so this is what she said last year or 2 years ago. On Palm Beach, a very disturbing, privileged, blah, blah, blah. Young girls manipulated and victimized at the hand of a wealthy, influential man we were now. Among them was Haley Robinson, who found herself trapped in Epstein's world. Robinson describes Epstein as a narcissist and psychopath. Quote, he is everything I think anyone can despise. In the early 2000s, she was a student. She had a happy childhood. She once had a happy childhood, and then she was raped. You know what that means. She was traumatized, confused, and vulnerable. Oh, shit. Okay. I don't know if you heard this story. there was a story that the reason why the Epstein case blew up in the first place was there was two girls that were having an argument about money and massages to deal with Epstein, and like one of the teachers or one of the school administrators had gotten involved, and that's how the whole thing blew up. According to the story, it was her. I did not know that. Okay, anyway. So she says, quote, there were a lot of details that were left out. Obviously, I went to Jeffrey's and the abuse happened upstairs in his bedroom, which had a room aside and a bedroom. Okay, I don't have to get into the details here. I'm trying to figure out in what part he just said, if you don't want to do this, then just bring me friends. I will pay you and you'll be compensated. $200 cash every time. Okay. 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 Okay, and then she wrote, it took her 2 years to get out from under Epstein's influence. While investigators finally knocked on her door, she told CBS 12 News they were suspicious of her. And then it says it took, okay, quote, I was not considered a victim at the time because of lack of investigation or information. Robson turned to drugs and alcohol, desperate to forget. In 2005, allegations of abuse of minors against him, prostitution. Okay, but that's not telling me, that's not the same story that's in the files. Okay, quote, you're still working and healing, and then this man dies and you don't get any closure. Okay. 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 Okay, does that make sense to you? Does any of that make sense to you? Okay, so it says, quote, because they have been, somebody said that, with the FBI for human trafficking. And it says, quote, because they have been groomed, they felt as though they were part of the abuse. So because of that shame, many will take years, if ever, to disclose the trauma. She says, quote, I think in present day, I do feel like I can breathe a bit easier knowing there were other women that are coming forward. She's still living in Florida. Quote, all she knows is that there was a man that really hurt me, caused a lot of pain. Okay. So that was an article where I'm quoting her. That doesn't match the case. That doesn't match any of it. You don't think that's odd? They had probable cause to arrest her. There was an investigation. Even though she said, yeah, I bought some people. This investigation says a lot more than that. This isn't like some, I just did some stuff. Guess what I found on the bottom of this page? It says page 4 of 4. It's written in pen. And then underneath it, it says page 5 of 135. There's either a page missing. I didn't see that before. And I read this to you guys a little bit earlier. Okay, it doesn't. I mean, what could be the reason for them not saying it? Like, I mean, if it already came out, this says a lot more stuff. Like, a lot. Like, they had enough cause because she wasn't just soliciting, she was participating. And why does it say page 4 of 4? Okay, I'm going to show you again. All right. First of all, I just started learning how to do this, so this is fun. Okay. See on the bottom. There. See? It says page 4 of 4, page 5 of 135. So, somebody's lying. Somebody's absolutely lying. I'm sorry, I'm zoning out, but it's because I'm finding it extremely weird. Extremely weird. By the way, before I go, because seriously, I really have to go. Okay. there's something going around the internet where they're telling you about the cheat code to see videos in the files. And here's what I noticed. There's a lot of people that are sharing links to websites, to certain accounts that are showing you files. And they're just sharing it. Like, people are like, oh, I can see stuff, and they're just clicking shit. They don't care what they're clicking on. I know if you go to my Facebook page, I took a picture when I went to the files, and I used the cheat code to get it. There is a way. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but there is a way to change the address and then turn it into a video. And no, if you're thinking this is like deep web stuff, you're not going to find deep web shit. Like, I don't know where people are getting that from, but I wouldn't even press that if it was me. I don't want to see that shit anyway. But what I'm trying to say is, I took a picture of, I use DuckDuckGo, and every time I get a blocker, like every time somebody's trying to track me, it'll give me a list when I close the window. So when I close the window, I wanted to show, I took a screenshot and put it up, how many times the government tried to track me. They weren't just trying to track me while I was on the .gov site. And if you're going to look at anything, see if it says .gov. Even if it's something that you think is nonchalant, if it says .gov, it's the government, like the official government. Anyway, I showed tracking. It wasn't just tracking because I was on the site. Every link I clicked came with a separate track. So, me going there, track. I opened a link, track. Every single thing I did was track. I mean, thank God that they blocked it. And in case you're like, oh, that doesn't matter, blocking doesn't do shit. Well, no. I mean, it kind of helps, but I also have a VPN. So I'm never in one place anyway. I would never do the type of research I do and then not have a VPN. That's bonkers. Anyway, if you're going to do something like that, get a VPN. I'm not promoting any VPN in particular, just a VPN. Even the free ones, they're still better than nothing. If you're going to look up shit, especially videos, you get that kind of shit on your computer and you open up the wrong file, you're screwed. That's it. That's why people were taught to be scared about using the dark web. The dark web's not exactly what everybody says that is. I've been using that for way over 10 years. In order to find the kind of shit that they talk about and they make this big hype about, like, you have to get invited. Like, you just can't press in drugs and then, like, all these sites come out and all these links to find, like, the greatest shit. Like, that's not even how anything works. But if you look into it, like, so let's say, well, this is the internet, right? And then this is how much of the internet we see on Google. And how many pages are out there? Like billions of pages. And then we have the other part of the internet that's like this. There's a whole internet we do not tap into. If you're going to go there, the second you have inappropriate shit on your computer, the amount of work it would take you to prove that wasn't there on purpose is huge. So don't take the chance unless you're fully protected. Even when I was opening up files, some of them were automatically downloading on my computer. Like, I would just click a link, I would open it, and I could see the little downloader go boop, 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 and then it would put a folder in my computer. Don't do it unless you're protected. Just don't. VPN, doesn't matter if it's a free one. Every little thing is going to help. But try your best not to just be curious and be the first one to say, oh, I saw some shit. Don't do it. And if you're going to share stuff, unless you're 100% sure, you know why I don't share everything all the time and I put it here and I read it? I know it's got to be annoying. I can't get the glare out of my fucking glasses. I'll sit here for 2 hours and read things so you don't have to, because I know that I try really hard. Am I 100% ironclad? No. But I know I have the ability to take extra steps. So I rather read it to you so you don't have to open up these windows, so you don't have to open up these files and do all of that stuff. If you're going to do it, be safe. If somebody sends you a link, don't just open the link. I don't care if you know the person. Listen, it takes one stupid person to get another stupid person to get another. That's how stupid people work. That's how things get out of control. So, give me a second. Okay. use a VPN. Go to DuckDuckGo. I'm trying to figure out. I have this system that if something downloads on my computer, hold on, sorry. I have this whole system because that thing is killing my eyes. I have a program on my computer that every time I get something uploaded, before I open it, it asks me, does it want to do a scan to make sure it's not a virus? And I always do that. This stuff is going to get more and more complicated. If they're literally watching other politicians and what they're doing, yeah, then they're doing it to us. Absolutely. Like, that makes sense. So don't do that. If you're interested and you want to be part of this, and it pisses me off, I see so many content creators, man. You know how surprised I was that somebody put out the cheat code on the internet? Who does that? Who does that? Who does that? You know what I'm saying? Like, they gave you the dude went, he said, there was a chick, she said how to change the files. And then there was another dude who gave access. Not only did he give access, he told you where to go, and then he told you the password to get it. Don't do that. Like, don't do that. You know how many people, I went in the comments, you know how many people were losing their shit? Oh, I'm going there right now, blah, 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 blah. Protect yourself, right? It's good to be curious. If you're truly curious about certain things. I'm not the only person who's doing this content, who will take the time and read this stuff to you. If you don't want to hear it from me, you don't have to. Find somebody else who will be able to do that work on your behalf so that you don't have to take a chance on something. Believe me, if there was ever a list out there, I was on that shit early 2000s. Like, I'm sure I'm on some fucking list. Oh, and I was thinking about doing a Freedom of Information Act file on myself. So if I do, I'll let you guys know what it says. I'm sure it's going to be fucking hilarious. But yeah. I think I told you guys that some of the money that Virginia Giuffre got from her settlement with Andrew what came from the royal family, including a loan from the actual Queen of England before she died. I mean, what was he, broke? Anyway, see? Nope. Protect yourself. Take some of this information, share it if you want to. You don't have to share my stuff, like, you know, physical, like, sharing, but you can have that conversation with other people. When you look at the news, when you hear these things, when you hear the same talking heads, I don't care how many different independent people you want to listen to, that's fine. If they're telling you the same thing that MS Now is telling you, if they're telling you the same thing Fox is telling you, if they're telling you the same thing, or you go to 3 different people, and they're saying the same thing, or they're showing you a 20-minute video that you can get from anywhere, because all they're showing is Pam Bondi losing her shit. You can go to C-SPAN and get that. Look for somebody who's going to tell you stuff so that you get out of the mix. So you could take that and you'll look at it. You'll look at it differently. And you'll only look for people that are giving out information that you know is the stuff that they're not, that makes no sense, right? You know what I mean. Look for the information that nobody else is just kind of sharing en masse. Curiosity is a great thing. Everybody wants to be the first one. Listen, I was bragging like half an hour ago about me doing some of the articles that are coming out now a year ago. So, yeah, I mean, if you want to brag. I'm bragging. I don't give a shit. But I did it safely. Like, I went to those places safely. The reason why other content creators aren't coming to those conclusions a year ago is because they're just saying the same thing. They're just telling you what the news told you 5 minutes ago. And they're like, breaking news. It's not fucking breaking news. It's news, but it ain't breaking because there's 72 other dudes that are getting 10,000 likes in the first 30 seconds because they think it's the news. No, this is the news. This is the stuff. So, thank you for being a part. I appreciate you. I appreciate this community. I appreciate you taking the time to share this information with me. I never talk at you. I always talk with you. I think that's super important. I think I'll be back. What's today? Sunday? Tuesday? Tuesday, probably. Yeah, Tuesday. I don't want to go through any more files. I'm sure I'll find something absolutely outrageous to bring up on Tuesday. It's not going to be the same shit. So get all your news out of the way. So, like I said, if you follow here, but you're on Lovespiracy, go to Esoteric Truth Radio. Once I know, because I know the people that were commenting, I loved your comments. I love that there was a bot in there. That was fucking hilarious. It does tell me who the new subscribers are. So if you left there and you went to Esoteric Truth Radio, I'll be able to do lives, and then you can catch my lives there, and we can talk in real time. So with that being said, I really am going to go right now. I love you guys. Keep an eye out on what's going on. Don't fall for the bullshit, because there's a lot of it out there. And come back and see me Tuesday. If I do anything before then, you'll kind of just know, because you'll see it. And if you want to read some of my articles, go to my Substack. I want to say it's Trinity Esoteric Truth Radio. It's on my Facebook page. Anyway, there'll be a link there. So, and you can leave comments, go subscribe and stuff like that. So anyway, I will see you guys later. Have a good rest of your weekend, and I'll see you Tuesday. Take care. Bye.